Hello everyone, this is Fabio Carvalho and you are watching now Adisra SmartView course. Today's topic is triggers. We'll take a look at the different types of triggers and configure one to load recipes whenever a different item of a combo box is selected in the recipes screen. Let's create a trigger document now. I'm going to right click, new document. The first thing we'll notice is that we can have multiple triggers or a list of triggers in the same document. And there are 4 types of them. First one is a trigger type, and whenever a tag that we configure in this field changes a value, the action that we selected, could be a script or service, is going to be executed. There's also a condition type. In this expression you can put a tag. Let's say I want to trigger it whenever the temperature tag is greater than 100, and the action will be executing multiple times while this condition is true. Whenever the condition turns to false, the trigger will simply stop. We also have the calendar type, this one, where we can execute an action daily, for example, the one that's already selected. And maybe you can change the recurring day, you can do it every day or every 2 days, and this trigger will be executed. I mean, the action that is selected is going to be executed. You also have the option of weekly, and you can choose the day of the week that you want to execute this action, and this can also be recurring every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. Another option is the monthly, and you can choose the month that you want to execute this action, and maybe you want to select the days of this month that the action will be executed, and it will be executed in this specific time that you put in the daytime, or it can be on every first Mondays and Wednesdays of July, for example. And the last type is gonna be the interval, and it's a really simple one. You just need to configure the interval. It could be every 10 seconds, you just need to change the 2 last digits, or in minutes, or in hours. So whatever you put in the interval, this is going to be the recurrence of this action. So it's extremely flexible, and I'm sure you'll find the best configuration to satisfy your application needs. For this application that we're working now, I will use the trigger type. So let's go back. And I will use the tag that we configure in the recipes combo box. If you are not remembering the name, it's configuration recipe selected index. So it means every time we change the selection on the combo box, I want to load the recipe. So I'm gonna put an expression. I could create a service for that, but I don't intend to use this in any other place, so I'm gonna just create as an expression. I'm gonna expand it here, and let's write it down. So I'm just gonna put an output here. It's always nice to debug if you have some problems. And the output is gonna say value was changed on selected index, and I'm gonna put the value that was selected, or the index, configuration selected index. Now we can do the logic. So if I'm gonna just check if it's greater than 0, because it could be set to -1, which means nothing was selected. So configuration selected index greater or equals to 0. 0 is the first item. It means I want to sv recipe dot load. I'm gonna load the recipe using the system function library, and the name of our recipe is configuration recipe. If you can't recall, I'm gonna open the recipes to show you the name, and we need to put the path sv applications dot project path. We are saving our recipes under a folder called beer recipes / and then the name of the recipe on that specific index that was selected. So recipe names index at configuration recipe selected index, and we still need to concatenate with the extension rpf. Semicolon at the end, and I'm gonna validate the script. Okay, everything's okay. I'm gonna save our trigger. Just gonna give a name as load recipe configuration, and we're ready to test it. So it means every time we change the selection of the combo box, we'll be loading the recipes. As I said, we're gonna confirm the name, configuration recipe. It is correct, configuration recipe. And everything should work fine, as we already have in the configuration recipe our tag configuration recipe loading all the values from the file that was stored. So let's close this, and let's run the application. Okay, application was loaded, and let's check the recipes. I already prepared 2 recipes that we can switch, and we're gonna see the values being changed, if it works, of course. So different recipes will be loaded, and we will see the different values on the screen. So let's select the APA first. We can see the recipes from the APA. So this was executed by the trigger, and as soon as we go back to Pilsen, it changes back. So we have 2 different recipes, and they're being loaded by the trigger with the configuration we've done. Whenever the selected index changes, our recipe is loaded. Okay, so that was a good example, and I hope it was useful, and you're gonna be able to play with the triggers. You can see that with the 4 types that we have available, you can do multiple stuff, maybe a signal, maybe you're doing a communication using the driver, and you want to execute something whenever tag changed value in this communication, and that's very useful. You're gonna see that triggers is something that you'll be using a lot in your applications. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next ones. Bye bye.